We left off on some shit, man, mentioning one of the more underrated times of the heavyweight division, late 1990s 2G, specifically about that really, I think, underratedly defined this era of heavyweight boxing, specifically the 2G time, 99 2G, 2G1. Uh, it's right here, Mike Tyson, one of his bouts right here, you see. And his versus Andrew Galata. And the key with it, man, I mean, when you look at why it was underrated, that this heavyweight division, it was really because of the personalities, and we're finna get into that shit. But since the 15th of May, um, just gonna pour out a little something real quick, man. Get to it, baby. That just gonna get right. Um, Shit, like it do. Actually, we was recording that day. We actually, I guess, finished the video, but it, froze off. We had that Budweiser, of course. That was that day. Poured out some shit, man. Sip, and of course, sip a little bit. Just because he's talking about Auntie Feet. Did the video on the 7th, but, and it just add on as we do, baby. I mean, you know, Budweiser, Heineken, whatever, it add on. Um, when you make the situation, responsible, of course, you know what it is, representing real and to stay with you, baby. You know, I mean, we know it's strong as shit that really, really stay with you, but we get it on here like this, um, you know, just get into it. Shit, um, that's the thing, you know, they ain't doing this shit on the world bullshit. But we'll check the coast of the time real quick. Do it like that. Got some soul shit here. Got some Heineken, baby. You know, hey, ain't rolled off with no bullshit. Fuck the world empiring that they do. You know, when it's on bullshit, we gonna bring some real shit. Heineken, hey, baby, that's what it is. This ain't no whole smiling shit. You know, you gotta ride it like this. Underground on 15th of May, baby. Um, but sometimes I guess some people will be all smiles with it, you know, depending. Shit. I mean, just all smiles with whatever situation, getting through shit. Like I realized, damn, today, Ray Lewis, I mean, obviously, you know, NFL legend and all that shit, did his thing, but people used to grill the hell out of him for that old court case and shit. I'm just remembering that shit. That's wow. That was also popping, of course, around 2G. So just boom. Nah, this ain't no coincidence or no setup shit. We saying, I'm just remembering, Ray Lewis shit was something heavy this time. Especially how the Ravens had come through from all that 1996 shit, the early years. They really, really, um, really, I guess, I don't want to say necessarily improved defense overall because you got other great teams too. But the way the Ravens came in on their first year and all of that shit, I mean, into 2G in that decade, man. The Ravens, I mean, they really knew how to had a defense really working well with one another. I mean, the way that they they did shit past just the effort. I mean, they did add some shit, man. The way they were coming at, you know, the offense, the opposing players and shit. I mean, they really, really, really put on something underrated when you talking about really just like some all out shit. It's not just the effort, but I mean, the speed, the determination, certain value elements like that. They brought all of them core elements into shit, thinking they got noticed for that. That's what I've noticed. The way they work their speed and shit. And into everything, like not just speed, but everything. They just getting at the ball carrier, shit like that. Or whoever had the ball and all of that. I mean, they really, really held theirs too. I mean, damn, like they put everything on it, like that type of defense. There wasn't no team that put everything on it like that. Not to that team. Yeah, the Ravens, the way they use their speed and shit, it worked out where it brought all the other players, where they could get off with that shit too, like that type of situation, like whatever spots and all that they was getting to, you can see it was all out. It brought out all out from the rest, like that, like literal movements and shit, like just bringing that in. But to have that, yeah, they did have like all the elements defensively and shit. They brought that in. Just gotta mention that that was something too for 2G. Um, and we know the NBA was on some shit too. But it's gonna be a little more than sports. But the NBA has some shit, of course. 2G. This is obviously going towards like, you know, MJ and just that would be later on. Obviously, come back to the Wizards. Or I mean, well, go to the Wizards the first time, but all that shit. Yeah, that time we're going ahead and ride with this shit right here. Yeah, but hey, doing this, baby. This ain't no bullshit on a prior limb. We just going Heineken and sip, baby, right here. It's no victim shit we handle. You know what it is. It's on, baby. We'll get to that. I want to take a look at some other core, element shit of the heavyweight division because I think it's underrated when you look at Galata and what he would what he was doing before this match with Tyson. But there will be very key personality aspects within this match that Tyson and Galata, how it would show, how it would represent really how far the heavyweight division had come from all the fucking years of Ali, Frazier, Ken Norton, of course Foreman, obviously boosted shit or brought it back to the 1990s shit, but he added some shit because it was a different decade in the 70s. So the 2G heavyweight division definitely did add shit. They had it at a point for 2G, but it was different with the way that people took a look at the heavyweight boxers, and it was a bit of a thing more with the personality because of the people, the fans, and all that had come to know, um, you know, personality wise, kind of, what the boxing was about to the point where it added to how the fans was into sport. It was a deep personality thing, and this was without the social media aspect. Um, Not that that's necessarily the worst thing ever, a social media aspect, but the thing was, it was without it. Um, it was like the people was able to just get with the personality of these boxers so strongly, just off how the scene was and everything like that, and the people got with the shit, and then it just added to all of the aura around it. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the personality shit. It's gonna be a little something with it. Do that. Take it on a little bit deep, baby. And can't forget again mentioning PM Dawn, of course, and Mr. Prince B. You know, um, yeah, it's just going. Work a little something. Just a little something like that, man. Many people know PM Dawn. Y'all know we gonna fuck with it like that. PM Dawn, Prince B, all that. Some underrated hip hop guys that though they didn't necessarily do hip hop, full through. They didn't necessarily do hip hop. They were really down with it. I think they still there was still something they added to music. Period. Go with all elements, even hip hop shit. That's what it was about. Like they had that aspect. Yeah, you know. Now this ain't nothing against KRS. I'm just looking at the article right here because when I first read it, which was today actually, um, it was interesting that besides the little drama on stage and the whatever pushing and shoving shit, besides all that, right? Prince B shout outs, man, went out to some real hip hop shit, man. When you look at the UMCs, right? Okay, you got these people that are doing the shows at the Sound Factory, 28th Street near the tunnel, obviously, Manhattan, and you know, obviously Prince B, he had the DJ with him. That's a family member, a related member, blood related member. Um, yeah, and then he had the dancers. They had these broads that were dancing. They had their own little small mini and living color shit going on. Obviously, they had their dancers as they mentioned through the article. Um, yeah. So before this is not necessarily about any stage shit, but just saying PM Dawn and them, they had a lot of shit going on already in terms of how they was already doing things. They had certain dancers already with the videos and on stage and being at hip hop spots. And they was at one, man. And when you look at it, not though this guy feels Carol is kind of fucked up hip hop a little bit. I don't really feel that, but this guy feels somehow. But that deals with other shit included into the whole PM Dawn, the whole drama on the stage and shit, the pushing and all that shit that happened. But besides that, the main thing here is the shout out. That's what we're getting into. And of course, anyone can read the article here and really, see the kind of little drama between it and how the guy has his opinion about um, KRS and the people he would face and wouldn't face. And there were certain harder cats than PM Dawn and all this shit, but said PM Dawn. You know, of course they had the drama, but there was other people that Karis had drama with, and it didn't get to something as what it did with PM Dawn. But I do believe that it's been years after this situation. KRS actually said some dope shit for PM Dawn, if I'm not mistaken. But besides that, the main thing here that we're getting to, let's just get to it. uh, Not wasting time, but just giving motherfuckers something on the scene. But when you look at it, man, Prince B, right? If you look at this guy who wrote the article, who was saying, yeah, he's not feeling KRS too well. Actually, wasn't feeling PM Dawn at all, but he ended up hearing out PM Dawn was really down with, um, you know, the shit that they was doing in hip hop. He gave an album shout out to the crew. Um, and The shit around D Nice and T Money had the birthday party, right? That was the same day that the PM Dawn drama happened. But this guy wanted to introduce PM Dawn real well because PM Dawn was down with the reality rap shit. As the guy said here, at first originally he wasn't for PM Dawn, just because just the music shit they was doing. But finding out these guys fuck with the hip hop shit, they fuck with the reality rap. They gave a shout out. As the guy put his own words, I gave him the cold shoulder before because I felt they was on some bullshit. Until Prince B just shouted me out on some real brotherly love stuff, really humbled me. Yo, word. Gave my album, my crew mad love, and I felt bad, so I figured in my mind, let me give these cats the very best intro I can. So I go on stage and I do my little 1-2 intro. And to my surprise, the audience got hyped over the fact that it was PM Dawn coming to the stage. Word, bugged me out. So this was during the T Money and D Nice birthday shit going on. So before that event, of course, for the stage event, this was the same event that, of course, eventually at KRS and PM Dawn at the same event we had a little drama. Before all of this event day and birthday T Money shit, before that he gave him the cold shoulder. The MC we're talking about who wrote the article here. The MC specifically gave him the cold shoulder, but on this specific day, the T Money birthday decided, you know, get past that shit, right? Because of he finding out PM Dawn gave the shout out on some album shit and the cruise and the hip hop shit. So they was really deep into the hip hop shit for sure. It was down with the reality rap. PM Dawn, Prince B, they rolled with the cruise and all of that shit too. They were down with the shit they were saying and all of that. So and get some great shout out. This was before any T Money birthday, but he finds that out and decides at the T Money birthday show to bring PM Dawn out and do the thing on the intro. And that's what it's about too, man. Like little shit like that. Talk about reality rap and just PM Dawn. They really was having all the elements and they fuck with all the genres. That's wild. But I like how deep they was with the reality rap too. Underratedly, they don't get too mentioned for that. But clearly, here it shows they was able to fuck around with getting a show with T Money and D Nice and all that, and having the MC who did the intro for the show want to introduce him properly and all of that. But the crowd was fucking with it. The reality rap crowd, all of that. So they had that buzz anyway. I mean that's the dope shit with reality rap. They was fucking with some of PM Dawn shit. And one of these guys, again, the guy who was writing this article, the UMCs, clearly. Uh, Another person, just that's hip hop, more hip hop related. That was, of course, still in the PM Dawn too. Of course, had to come to that. Wasn't that originally, but came to it. Want to introduce it properly. That's what it is. That's what it's about. You know, keeping shit like that on for the real, like that. That's what we gonna do though. We finna just we gonna peep on the core, but just wanted to bring that in about Prince B and people, Prince B and them around T Money and all that shit. Um, with the UMCs, who was the guy who wrote the article, and the same guy who did the intro properly or wanted to do it properly and did it properly for PM Dawn at the Sound Factory that day, that specific day. And just because he found out that PM Dawn and gave a real big shout out and everything, and for all the guys and the albums and all that shit. Just smaller, lesser known shit for reality rap. PM Dawn, they were with it. They liked it. But that's what it's about, man. So getting back to personalities and all that shit, man, we're gonna go ahead and get something over here going. All right, a little bit. Crack on this shit right here. Yeah, there ain't no lie right here. You see, this also is another interview. So I'm dealing with KRS again, but this one again, this just we just kicking it right back to the reality rap shit. And like I said, we need real niggas right now. Not NIGGER, but NIGGA. We own that word. Yeah, I'm a ride with that. That's our word. Emo niggas, you know. That's on some like like Pac shit. You know what I mean? It's, you can make the word, make it something completely different than what others have made up on it. It's like even though you have the original word, you can still have another word, but NIGGA. That's like making it. Damn, that's really like original in its own. I mean, because it's a different situation, but yeah, I mean that's obviously that's blacks owning the word on that shit. Yeah, ain't no white people came up with that. So when we know who owns some Pac shit, that's never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished, man. Um, that's what it's about right there. Just keeping it to certain. Just the again mentioning some shit on the call. That's what it is. Now this of course was another guy who wrote this article right here. I'm just looking at it, but yeah, it's definitely obviously was for this aspect. Yeah, he is right on that. On the, who owned the world. Yep, this is Carol's one right here. This is him. Speaking of Mr. Robbie, so yeah, uh, these were the later politics for the 2G era. Obviously, this article was written in the 2G decade, so I'm just looking at it. These were the politics that went. But of course, a few years before this, yeah, you still have your, you got your Mike Tyson personality all in the box, and you know how big that was for some, man. We all know Foreman was big, Holyfield, Galata was coming along, Ike, the Bull Bucci, all these guys, David Tour, um, Cliff NTN, guy from Louisiana. But I mean, you had something different with it, man. And hip hop was definitely big as fuck too in the mix. This 2G decade, Lennox Lewis, all that shit going on. Yeah, man, with the heavyweight specific. You'd have James Tony, even bring an added personality into the shit. That motherfucker was on. You know, hip hop period, all that shit. I mean, it was just the personality to come along. The heavyweight division, I think, had it popping. But let's get into it. Can't miss that, man. And then you notice that the reality rap at that time it really, really blew up in terms of the commercial shit. But then you look at years after the 2G decade, obviously reality rap isn't the same. The politics haven't particularly went well in terms of where society is going with their own views and perception of shit. But you know, hey, when it was on and popping, the personalities was really pulsating. that was 2GA when you got that electrifying type of shit, man, going on around this added commercial shit with the reality rap, man. You really got that. But and of course, Mike Tyson was a bit on the scene too. I mean, that just makes it boom, bubbling like that. But it all worked well. That was his reality. I think that was a big key too. That put a lot of shit onto the dressing and perception and seeing on the real and all that. You gonna get it all with this boxing match, and then it's showtime shit. So we gonna get to it. Here we go. Pull a little bit of this shit out.
Up next, our main event, Mike Tyson versus Andrew Golota, as we take you backstage into the dressing room of both Tyson and Golota, making final preparations. Tyson doing some singing, Golota a little shadow boxing, and despite careers once filled with promise, tonight's combatants have become infamous for their violent indiscretions in the ring. A look back now at the checkered histories of Tyson and Golota. Mike Tyson, now so vilified, was once the most charismatic and celebrated fighter of his generation. But over the last 4 years, his career has been indelibly marred by controversies and inexplicable fouls.
Right up again. He did it again.
Tyson showing desperation in fighting Holyfield 2 times. Look out now. More fighting in the ring after the end of the fight. And Tyson is just taking swipes at anybody in front of him.
Look at me. Look at me. I got to go home and my kids are going to be scared of me. Look at me, man.
Hey, Mike. Come on. Come on. Come on. Right.
Oh, and he hits him after the bell, and Norris goes down, and here we go again. Tyson hit Norris after the bell. A barrage by Tyson. The referee, John Coyle, steps between, and he continues. Coyle's trying to stop it.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Tyson's opponent, Andrew Golota, has not exactly earned himself a reputation as a choir boy either. His blatant low blows and enigmatic behavior were never more apparent than in his 2 battles against Riddick Bowe.
Oh, Golota's hitting below the belt. Golota again with low blows. So look at this. Bowe goes down. That's it. Golota's disqualified. Golota is absolutely unbelievable.
As they prepare for tonight's contest, both combatants hope their bout will not deteriorate into an embarrassing foul fest.
He should be very nice to me. He shouldn't initiate anything as far as any foul tactics and anything. I really hope he doesn't do that. I don't think he will.
I don't think it's dirty, I don't think anybody's dirty, in the ring. But the thing is, he might lose his focus, in the fights.
I don't want to get in a dirty fight with nobody. He doesn't want to. I'm sure he doesn't want to get in a dirty fight with me.
When it comes to the fight, whatever he does, whatever he starts, I finish,
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wrestle with anybody. I'm going to land my fist on his face and his ribs.
Well, the question now is this. Have Tyson and Golota learned from their past transgressions? Will they enter tonight's bout with the intent to fight by the rules, or are they already resigned to the notion of foul play, particularly after hearing and reading how almost everyone is expecting the worst? Let me bring on my ringside partner, former world champion Bobby Ches. And Bobby, if Tyson's conduct is okay and he comes up with a victory, does he get to return to the big money venues in Nevada?
I think Las Vegas will welcome him with open arms. He still generates the big bucks. He makes the most money for the venues everywhere throughout the world, especially Las Vegas.
Right, y'all hear that shit right there. So the personality that got on with both guys in the heavyweight division, man. Besides that, obviously Tyson's shit was more about the shit past the boxing match. His personality, that motherfuckers know. A lot of shit was more like in the match, in the ring situations. The low blows and shit people got to know him for. All that. So you got these two clashes with the situation on the personal aspect. Goes a bit beyond the sport, but Tyson shit really was more past the ring, past the match when it comes to the shit of his antics. But with a lot of shit, it was more in the ring. So it's a bit of the personality, of course, and you know that's gonna bump big with the Vegas situation of boxing and all of that. Long shit, you know, it's Showtime, motherfuckers. When it came to Showtime, they had all the situations, all the personalities, the 2G shit, everything, everything popping was there. Literally, um, we're gonna go ahead and as we see it along Showtime shit, you know, like that. They had it all the elements, all that shit, man. Wasn't nothing like it for the 2G boxing in that day, of course. Um, I mean, it's Showtime. This ain't just no coast to coast, you know, Magic Johnson, Showtime Lakers shit. I mean, this was Showtime. We talking like they just had it all around type shit. Like, the personalities even just past the ring, just had it all in the ring, out the ring, the whole package. Showtime, you know, that's what it is right there. Hey, so that's what it is. See the tactics here on the package. Showtime, you know, that's what it is. Um, hey, regardless of what's on the foes, man, and all that, motherfuckers know, man, you know, you got your shit, you work, your efforts, slow grind. Hey, it's still smooth, baby. It's Showtime. Check this shit out. It ain't come to no halt on no slow grind either, you know. So that's what it is, man. Beating all faults, shit, handling shit like that, man. You know, do it that way. So that's what it is. This ain't about, you know, topping charts. It's Showtime shit, baby. People a little art here. Do it. Oh man, check it.
What if he self-destructs and fouls out again?
You know, it's not inconceivable if he fouls out that here in Michigan they'll ban him and that they'll ban him throughout the United States. I don't think that that's going to happen. But boy, I'll tell you what, you never know.
What about the referee situation? Frank Garza is very inexperienced. He's had only one title fight. This isn't a title fight, but still. I mean, experienced referees have had their difficulties with Tyson. Now you throw Galata into the mix. Doesn't a fight of this magnitude on this level call for a more seasoned third man of the ring?
I completely agree. I think that a referee who has a proven track record, who's proven himself in big fights, tough fights, who's made tough decisions, split-second reactions can make the difference, change lives and history here. I think a better referee would have been better suited for this fight.
Plus a size factor. He's only 5'8", 172 against these hulking heavyweights. plates. That's not going to be easy.
Well, Mills Lane's a big man, a small man in size, but a big man in stature. He controls the fighters in the ring. He knows his business. He does it well.
All right, Tyson and Galata, two freight trains heading straight for each other, a matchup that has captured the imagination of many people, including boxing commentator, painter, and writer Ferdy Pacheco, better known as the Fight Doctor. Ferdy takes a personal look at tonight's star attraction in this latest installment of The Doctor Is In.
Okay. Now we look at referees. We look at referees, man. That could deal with this match, deal with Galata and Tyson and those personalities. Of course, motherfuckers know Mills Lane and they know what Mills Lane is about. I mean, he handled the shit basically. But besides Mills Lane, another ref they could handle it would be a guy who was all about Ruben Hurricane Carter, uh, Ron Lipton. Ron Lipton did choreographing over Emil Griffith's fighting abilities. You know, the speed Emil had, everything. Emil was a total package, speed guy aspect, not necessarily power. But somebody like Ruben Hurricane Carter had a certain honing of power. We all know Ruben Hurricane Carter, the name Hurricane. I mean, he had it all too with that power aspect. So, but Lipton could do all of that in terms of choreography. He just showed little move aspects of it because he sparred with um, Ruben Hurricane Carter. Was a great fan of Hurricane Carter, and as a white man, Lipton wasn't exactly liked because he would hang around Hurricane Carter. Ruben Hurricane Carter hang around Ali, but especially because of Ruben Hurricane Carter and the whole, that murder case that Ruben Hurricane Carter got caught in. A lot of whites didn't exactly appeal to rolling with Ron Lipton, riding with Ruben Hurricane Carter, but he ain't never switched no sides or no shit like that. So Lipton's personality itself easily would be able to handle uh, Tyson and Galata, like because Lipton, um, he knows his shit. Obviously, he sparred with Ruben Hurricane Carter. Ruben Hurricane Carter was training and doing the boxing as a pro. I mean, obviously, Lipton would easily be somebody too that could do the refing. But with the guy they get, they gonna have him on this shit. And we'll check that out. But yeah, Lipton, you gotta like how Lipton stuck with the shit he was about and roll with it. I mean, always a unique personality too for pro boxing. This boxing period, Lipton. He didn't change just because his fellow white people didn't exactly fuck with him. Riding with Ruben Hurricane Carter. So for Ron Lipton to ride that deep with someone like Ruben Hurricane Carter, then Lipton clearly got something that other refs don't even have like that. That experience, unique experience. Somebody like Lipton, he's got it all. And he's done refing too. So I mean, he knows his shit. So we're gonna peep on to the shit and who they got. Seeing about that shit, man. Fast forward the shit a little bit.
Well, that's why we're here, to see what happens between Tyson and Galata, to see if somebody implodes or explodes or whatever the heck goes on here. It really has been a stressful thing trying to get ready for this fight with all the craziness going on. But Bobby is the winner.
Yeah, I mean, Showtime, you already know. And they had their raw ass moments too on Showtime. Cursing, doing it all, man. I mean, it's Showtime. They got it all types of ways on the shit. Let's get
Winner of this fight ready for the winner of the upcoming title fight between Lennox Lewis and David Tua.
I think certainly the winner of this fight is going to be right there. He's going to be knocking on the door of a world championship fight with Lennox Lewis or David Tua. My personal pick is that Tua wins so that the Lewis-Tyson possible showdown gets put aside,
Unreal.
at least for now. And I think that either way, the winner of this fight shows he's ready to go.
What if there are some promotional problems? If there is, say, a Tyson Lewis matchup, a showdown there, Tyson Holyfield 3?
Well, certainly the trilogy needs to be completed. I don't think that the final statement, the stamp has been put on that. I think there's still some things left unsaid that need to be said and maybe even more importantly done.
Then again, who knows? Because Tyson said yesterday, this is his last fight.
If this is his last fight, this is probably my last broadcast,
Yeah, well,
but I pray it's not.
I doubt both. Okay, let's get your keys to victory for the main event.
What we have here is a battle of the unpredictable and maybe the very unexpected. Mike Tyson, there's no stranger to what he has to do. He has to get on the inside, and also when he gets on the inside, he's got to go to the body and then to the head in combination. He's devastating when he does that. Okay, and those big left hooks and right uppercuts that he throws on the inside are devastating. Here against Julius Francis, he's going to circle to the side to get better angle of delivery. And when he does, he's going to deliver a right uppercut to the body and then take a left uppercut directly to the head. Buckle his man over to the belly and then bang him to the head. There's the right uppercut. Bent over goes Julius Francis, and there's the uppercut which topples him to the canvas. That's Mike at his best.
for real. But really, when you talk about Mike, when he had the lower stance, then even what was seen here, he had the lower stance in and the speed to go with it, you know, coming off just, his weight, the talent, the skill. I mean, damn. Galata's got power, of course, but Tyson's got more shit going. The speed. At one point, Tyson was the total power speed package, especially with the lower stance and able to, implement the directions that he needed to move. Just the way you be able to implement the directions with that the lower aspect and rolling working speed like that. Like just with the ground. The 1980s Tyson, yeah, that was another motherfucker to be honest. But we're gonna see this Tyson here, of course, and Galata already is known for his power in himself, but it doesn't have the speed caliber as Tyson. But still, Galata was in the ranks contenders. That's what it was. And Tyson, talking about Tyson for real, 1980s, yeah, he could bend and work the body in all types of directions and get low. He had power from everywhere, every direction, that type of shit. That was deep, to be honest. That was all just different. But you're gonna see it here. What Tyson has, of course, the 2G shit. He still has some power, obviously. It wasn't exactly low as he once was. Uh, didn't exactly have the speed like he once, but he still had more speed going than Galata, of course. So it definitely makes it still is a quality matchup, especially with the personality aspects. But that goes a little bit past the ring. But still, it's still quality shit. Showtime had it all. That's what it is. You know, Showtime. It's no overthrow. Overthrow bullshit here, baby. With it. So, um, it's a little past primes, but Showtime had it all. Past prime, in prime, whatever the fuck. We gonna peep it on, man. Let's do this shit.
Andrew Galata has got to establish a power jab, not just flick it out there. He's got to put some sting on Mike if he wants to win. Also push Mike back. Holyfield did it, and he won. It's key. And keep some distance between them. Galata's too big to fight on the inside with Mike Tyson. Here, Galata against Norris. He's going to throw the jab, then he's going to throw a little left hook up top, just to keep, not real hard punches, just to keep Norris from coming in. Keep him at a distance where he can win, and Norris cannot win. He throws a little hook outside. He throws the right hand to the body and comes up again with a little hook, keeping the jab in his face, keeping that distance, keeping him away. Galata can win from here. Norris can't. Tyson can't. Now watch what happens when Royal Norris goes to bend to come in. Now Galata unloads with real punches. Right uppercut and a left hook. You see the shoulder, he's bent, he's making his move. There comes the uppercut and the hook. And then Galata is right back out of harm's way.
Galata had that outside aspect too with power. He could work from that outside shit on in. You know, coming off that power in the jab. I mean, Galata had a little something there, but that was just power aspects. Speed shit, you know, all that. And the power, of course. Tyson got that. We're gonna see what's up on people shit.
Well, from keys to victory, Bobby, to faces in the crowd, the greatest, Muhammad
Well,
Ali, former champion Larry Holmes on hand at the Palace. One of the all-time greats from Michigan State, not far. The Magic Man, Irvin Magic Johnson. Basketball star Vince Carter, fresh off the gold medal winning performance in Sydney. Jerry Stackhouse, local favorite from the Detroit Pistons.
Showtime.
And entertainer Sean Puff Daddy Coke.
Of course, there you go right there.
So the stage.
Just all these motherfuckers. I mean, Showtime had it all, man. They was on it in these days. It wasn't even a social media thing. This was a fucking Showtime thing, but they had it going, man.
Is finally set for tonight's main event. Mike Tyson versus Andrew Galata. The build-up is over. The moment has arrived. Let's throw it up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr., to introduce the ring walks.
More people on the intros, of course, and then, you know, we want to hit some work on this shit. You know, just fucking with some ambience, baby. I mean, sometimes got it all, baby. We just adding a little motherfucking with it, man. You know, on some other shit, why not? It's cool, some alright shit, you know, all that. Smooth with it. Shit, I mean, some more DJ Quick, all that shit. Sadiq, Raphael Sadiq. I mean, Sadiq unique, baby. Shit. We're gonna get to it. 2G shit, baby. Late 1990s 2G.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are ready to bring out the boxers in our heavyweight showdown main event of the evening. First, making his way to the ring, please welcome the big contender, the heavyweight from Poland, Andrew Galata.
We understand Andrew Galata is holding up the works, not ready to come in, despite the fact that Jimmy Lennon Jr. announced his ring walk introduction. This is right outside the locker room as we await the emergence behind closed doors of Andrew Galata.
I don't know if it's a psychological game, Steve, but psychological games at this level, I just don't think they work.
Well, especially he doesn't have Tyson waiting or anything, so what does Tyson care? Perhaps it's only fitting that Galata's trainer is also a tailor, because many feel Galata is tailor-made for Mike Tyson. Slow, plodding, questionable heart.
Well, yeah, it is. I think it is. I mean, it's the right matchup for Showtime shit. Of course, having it all, you get all types of shit. You got Mike Tyson type skill. He once had the whole lower, stand shit coming with the speed, and the whatever punches. Of course, hitting it all angles, wild angles, shit like that. I mean, the body control, everything from that lower stance he once had before this, later Tyson exactly having low like that. But still, but it's not so much Galata slow. I mean, Galata has some power, but Galata was good even from the outside, so it was a little more shit than Galata shit. But Tyson got the speed aspect on him. Still know about the angles, all that shit. But it's still quality. Showtime, you get it all. We're gonna go on fast forward because Galata obviously does. He does take a good bit of time. Just didn't want to come on, but he does.
Trainer.
Such a fight or die, do or die, that anything is possible.
They're trying to clear people away to make a path. There's Al Certo on the left, his colorful trainer. We'll see Galata momentarily. Here he comes. He does have a good chin. He can take a punch, but how will he react once he feels the power of Tyson? I mean, these aren't sparring partners simulating Tyson's left hook. He has been rocked by fighters who don't hit as hard as Tyson. Is that a point?
He reacted pretty well to Riddick Bowe's power, and he wound up on the floor, and he got back up, and he demolished Bowe to a great degree. He reacted pretty well to Michael Grant's got up. He didn't react that well to Lennox Lewis's, and this Tyson power.
His chin wasn't horrible. Galata's chin was not horrible.
As they see him up on the big jumbotron.
Believe it or not.
The question is, how does he get Tyson's respect early?
Steve, there's no two ways about it. He has to come to Mike with a hard jab.
That shit
He's
makes
got to pop
sense.
him, whether it's a left hook, a right hand, an uppercut. He has to sting Mike a little bit and let him know, oh, by the way, I'm going to be here a while, so don't...
Just a standard, yeah, the chin aspect. I mean, for Galata, that does something. Adds a little something, yeah. So yeah, that too wasn't horrible. Not at all.
Get too confident. I have to tell you, Steve, just the thought of walking in the ring with a Mike Tyson is a great rush. I mean, the best rush I ever had was jumping out of a plane in Skydive Phoenix. I enjoyed that, but fighting Mike Tyson has to be an incredible rush. Right now, I wish I was Andrew Galata.
A lot of people feel that this may be akin to jumping out of a plane for Galata without a parachute.
Well, I don't think he's going to die. No, he could get hurt.
He did behave in his last fight. You recall a decision over Orlin Norris, but he was very cautious, Bobby, and playing dull. Can he take that same tact, that same approach, and be successful against a guy like Tyson?
That type of approach, that type of performance will get him annihilated and annihilated early. I don't think it's possible. He said he was hurt in that fight. He had some problems under his left arm by his rib cage. I don't think it's possible to fight anything even remotely close to that and survive, never mind win.
There's an explanation for Galata's tardiness. Let's get it from Jim Gray.
Well, there's been some controversy the last day and a half, according to the promoters of this fight, Tommy Hearns and Dan Goodson. Andrew Galata did not want to wear the Everlast gloves. He wanted to wear a different brand of gloves. He was not happy with the ones that were picked out for him by the commission that he had to select at the meeting. And up until the last minute, he had refused to put him on, and they finally convinced him to put him on and come out and fight.
Showtime had it all, baby. Goes down into the shit, on with drama, all that. Personalities, baby.
Thanks, Jim. Everlast more of a boxer's glove.
I'll tell you what, I think that this glove is better for Galata and not as good for Mike. If I were Mike, I'd want the Rays. I want the power puncher's gloves. I don't understand it.
Let's go back to Jimmy Lennon Jr. to bring on Mr. Tyson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring to the music of Cash Money recording artists, Cash Money Millionaires. Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
see it.
introducing the one and
BG
only
got
Iron
Wayne
Mike Tyson.
Birdman. I mean 2G. Goddamn, the South. Shit, I know what No Limit did with it, man. Shit. Damn, they did that shit, but Cash Money shit. Tyson, you already know. It's a reality rap thing, baby. We already know the South had this shit. We talking about some club shit, party shit. Damn, the Freaknik. I mean, come on, man. We know that, like, New York and other places, they had the Pawn Club, the Pawn Club spots and all that shit, but Freaknik had it all. It was, I'm not saying it was Showtime or something like that, but hell, they got Cash Money in this bitch, BG, all that shit, Wayne, Bourbon, all that. I mean, Showtime had it all. And we know, like, there was a package just like the South was on their shit, having it going on. They did it different. They didn't necessarily have like the whole industry like just doing it like New York or the West Coast. The South had brought in another aspect. I mean, they brought it in even off the party shit, the Freaknik shit, all that. But from just that was just with the people. We know the people was peeping in the shit with the personality, all that. So we know, you had the fucking South personality, the South personality aspect making the scene and shit, you know. But think up in that like that. So that's what it was. Like Memphis clubs. Yeah, they had the shake jump, all that. It's a little different than Freaknik, obviously, but Memphis was awesome shit too. But they did they shit really just straight off the party in the clubs, shit. And then they hit it on commercial. They ain't even have to do it, with no big ass contract commercial shit. Because all of Memphis, the club shit, all that was really like underground shit. So you had the NO underratedly, they came up off the club shit too, and they said. So when you look at the South shit and all that, man, that was some real shit with how the party went along. And then of course you had the freaking shit that had a lot of people into it. People whether they was football players or basketball, or college or whatever, just motherfuckers all into the scene. I mean, this is what Showtime. I feel obviously they were there in that era, and I just mean that they had a certain aspect. They had all of this, even like a certain aura of a bit of aura of the club shit and all they happening in the South, and boom, they bring it in. Tyson got it going on with that shit too. So that show you that the South had it on different, man. I'm just saying, it was really like that, you know. Like we know, Master P did this shit, no limit, all that. You got the certain, you know, contracts, all that shit. But some underground shit. Cash Money did it. They did it different a little bit, man. Um, they definitely went the way of the party, for real. I mean, but not one shit like Freak Me. You know that, like one shit like that. But that was the thing. See, when you could add that into reality rap, that just that took it different reality wise, creatively wise. You know, the personality. So we talking about the personality that came to be with the soft shit and all that. Clearly, it came to be on something even with Mike Tyson and the boxers around. Yeah, you got Magic Johnson in this bitch. You got all of that. I mean, it was something that personality for the South shit came about without like major or main industry shit going on. It was like Memphis shit, the shake jump, or strip club shit, all that. Topless broad dances, stripper bitches, whatever you call them. You had other spots, especially Atlanta, Freaknik shit, all that going on. JD, Jermaine the Brad, all that. I mean, it was a different way that this shit got popping with the party. Of course, Atlanta got a Magic City, all the strip clubs too. But the way that you could still have the reality going on real for something, like you get the personality out of it. Besides just the club shit, there was a personality that got out of it. So you still had all these creative motherfuckers on the scene, round freaking. You had steppers, people in schools all over. And it all just added with the South and that aspect, I feel. So you just end up with that total personality, that package. But there's so many different like blends and shit. So the South was bringing in more of that. Like they kept that bitch going. See, New York, I mean, yeah, they party. We know that. West Coast got party. But the way the South kept some shit going, man, it was like straight up off the jump. Like just off the strength, just, what it was, how shit was gonna get going, how motherfuckers was gonna kick it. The party, all that, like the South shit, it went in straight up into the reality rap. But it went on like something festive. And that's showtime. They doing it. Shit, let's vibe, people.
Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, yeah.
Watch out! Alright, we're gonna do this for my homeboy Mike Tyson! Look, you know me, I don't need no introduction to this. Ride business around the city, all fights to this. Hanging wrist, breaking this, sun to this. Drop the top, pockets high, dropping the this. Be as you get it right, don't take it and twist it. Every night, don't take it and twist it. Don't like it, cause I'm taking it twisted. Like it's twisted and twisted. Ride these bubbles, you can call it with the chill. Like bubble with the platinum grill, platinum beat, the platinum chain, the platinum wine, and the platinum.
Tyson said this a fight that is meant for him. He's very excited about it, since his strategy is no different for Galata than anyone else. Not worried about low blows, saying they don't hurt if you have a cup, and doesn't think Galata brings anything to worry him in the ring. His trainer, Tommy Brooks, thinks he'll destroy Andrew Galata. How pivotal is the first round for Tyson?
Hey, it's fun doing this shit, baby. All in, motherfucker. Got an era like that, you know. Shit, man. Oh, there's so many motherfuckers that, gonna keep on and just rolling with the real shit, hearing on that. But that's a hell of an era right there. Shit. Mm. It's not just crispy or just, you know, just, it ain't nothing just all also all tipsy, club shit. But still, please, motherfucker, believe me. Tipsy or whatever. Hey, it's the era doing this shit, you know, right there. Still gritty shit. Like that. And this motherfucker on Showtime. Man, shit. This ain't all premier glitzy either. It's that cash money. Get on to that shit, baby. Club. But it's outside the club. It's the reality shit right there, man. So that's what it is. No snubs to see. Just straight clubbing. You know, this ain't snubbing this nigga or snubbing that and saying this one out because they ain't hit the top type of shit or whatever, man. You know, no doubt. But Cash Money had they spot and shit. Top chart spot, nothing like that. So, motherfuckers try to see you, jaw wide and not, making it what you do. But Cash Money had the shit going on, man. They put it on pretty much. Yeah, Mike Tyson, Andrew Galata, right there, man. And for the fans in the slew, they doing what they do. You know, Get the motherfuckers around, the celebs. You can't can this shit. This ain't no, bullshit branded shit or nothing like that. Or shit out the prune with the juice or nothing like that, baby. This that smooth shit. You know what it is. Get it on.
The first round is key for both fighters, but especially for Mike, because if Andrew Galata can hit Mike, hurt Mike, push Mike back a little bit in the first round, Mike's got a whole new thing to deal with. He's got to deal with a guy who's going to be here and is prepared. If Mike gets this thing going early, this fight is done.
With that, do you look for him to come out swarming, trying to take Galata out expeditiously, or will he look to rough him up, take him out of his game, make him do something foolish?
Mike never looks to let anyone get outside the first round. He looks to take it to you and put what he calls the big hurt on you. He looks to put it on you as often and as early as possible.
All right, let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. Tyson turned 34 in June, 2 years older. Big 5-inch height advantage, 7-inch reach advantage. Galata at yesterday's weigh-in, as mentioned, Tyson 222, Galata 240. And the key Michigan rules for this non-title fight. The standing 8 count is in effect. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 5th round, the fight's ruled a technical draw. If it happens after the end of round 5, they go to the scorecard. So here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, better than 16,000 on hand, ready for the main event. Mike Tyson versus Andrew Galata. The official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Palace of Auburn Hills here in Auburn Hills, Michigan, as it's time for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by America Presents and Hearns Entertainment in association with Main Events, Fight Night Inc. and SET Showtime Event Television. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the Michigan State Athletic Board of Control. The chairman is David Sebastian, vice chairman Dr. Michael Sherman. Now introducing to you our 3 judges scoring the bout from ringside. From Clarkston, Michigan, Rosemary Grable. From Hale, Michigan, Bernie Teachout. And from Troy, Michigan, Brad Wright. Now introducing to you the 3rd man of the ring, the referee in charge. From Lincoln Park, Michigan, Frank Garza. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. A heavyweight showdown scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Palace of Auburn Hills, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing white trunks with red trim, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois by way of Warsaw, Poland. He weighed in at an even 240 pounds with a record of 36 wins, 4 losses. He has 29 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the WBC number 9 ranked heavyweight contender, introducing the hard-hitting Andrew Galata. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, really needing no introduction the world over, entering the ring wearing his traditional black trunks and hailing from Catskill, New York. He weighed in at 222 pounds with a record of 48 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He has 42 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the youngest man ever to capture the world title, the 2-time heavyweight
Yeah, as money as it was, baby. Yeah.
champion of the world, introducing the one and only
I seen him.
world title, the 2-time heavyweight
Yeah, I'm tell you, man, BG, Birdman.
champion of the world, introducing the one and only Iron Mike Tyson.
Seeing how they do this shit. And Showtime, putting it all out there. You know, no old bullshit, pout faces. You know, stuck on the powder. Seeing how they doing out there. You know, past the standard, baby. Shit, shout out with it. You know, grind a bit. Now on timing. Still represent some shit on the way back, representing. You know, shine on, baby. It ain't just refining. Shine, keep on, baby. That cash money shit. You know, if money ain't settled. Hey, you know, talking about the representing with it. Shit, man, you know, it ain't going for nothing on real. Because people put the money too much. And you know, some get knocked off, shot, or gutted with it. But still, man, you know, even with all the chop top of shit and the, you know, the stunting with it, it still come down to the real shit. You know how it is. And that's what this situation is with personality, you know. So it ain't just jumping into shit. It's right here on reality, recognizing and keep this motherfucker on bumping, you know, as we does with it. So gonna see the shit on, man. Got more than a hunch with it. Just represent, baby. Keep this shit going. This ain't spoken word shit. Let it just flow as it do. Regardless how the speed seems to the fucking world, you know. Hey, we ain't froze off to no icicle, you know. But if we seem like we not to pick through, hey man, shit. Hey, yeah, we gon' goddamn work this motherfucker up, get the riffs through. Like that, you know. Doing that shit as we work the margarita sip through. Doing this motherfucker. Oh, this the can we already had open. Just some shit we had. But gonna let it ride. For this a little something. Boom. Get it on. Peeping ahead. Peeping ahead with boxing legends.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, our referee in
Hey,
charge, Frank Garza, now to give instructions. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in this, our main event of the evening.
no smart bullshit. Working this shit. So,
Only the chief second and the boxer in the ring. Everybody else has to be out.
soldiers.
Only the chief second. Only the chief second. Only the chief second.
Yeah.
gamesmanship going on here now, Bobby. Somebody's got to make their way to the center of the ring.
I personally, I think it's ridiculous. I think the referee's waiting for everybody to get out of the ring, except for the chief second, which are the trainers and the fighters themselves.
It's a familiar sight of Tyson pacing like a caged tiger, and already before the fight starts, Frank Garza has some contact.
I can see Mike's belly button right there, and that's going to be the line. So anything on his trunks or cups, I'm going to consider a low blow. His is up a little high. His belly button's right there, so I'm going to give Mike right here that red line. You got it? Okay. We already went through all the directions in the dressing room. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Any questions in this corner? Okay, gentlemen, let's do it right. Touch them up. May the best man win.
Okay, you can see this ref obviously is handling this biz. He checked this shit thoroughly. Obviously, he's handling this shit. So clearly they got the right ref, Mr. Garza. But he clearly was the right ref for it. And not saying other refs wouldn't have worked, like Lance Mill or even Ron Lipton. Of course, them two would have worked, especially Lance Mill. Motherfuckers know Lance Mill. I hear the matches. A lot of big title fights, but this referee right here was still the right one for what they got. So clearly, they got somebody that was going to check shit thoroughly. Check this shit thoroughly. You know, you see the shit that he's saying, the belt lines and all of that. Clearly, this is a ref on this shit. On